Ken Trahan along with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNola.com. NBA announcing its MVP. Steph Curry gets it, no surprise. James Harden finishing second. Anthony Davis finishing fifth, which is well-deserved. Lenny could have been as high as fourth, but I think that this likely ensures he'll be a first-team All-NBA player.
You would think so, and again, like we mentioned last week, that perhaps kicks in the ability to have the Pelicans give him 30% of their cap in terms of a long-term max deal. So let's see what actually happens in terms of that. That will be coming down the line soon enough, but certainly a top 5 finish in the MVP voting at the age of 21 says a lot.
The fallout continues from the NFL draft, and the Saints, of course, with quantity with 9 picks and some quality as part of the draft, too. As I said on Channel 6 when I did something with them after the draft, bottom line is that you don't know, and you won't know for 3 years. Everyone's an analyst. It's easy to assign a grade. I don't like doing that. You can try to assign something, but here's the reality. Did you really see all these guys play? I did not. I'm not going to pretend to. Everybody's reading everybody's stuff and coming up with something. It certainly appears they address some needs. It's all about whether they've got players that can play.
And can they actually play and play on the pro level? It is a different game. And, you know, it's going to be intriguing. And obviously, with so many guys and this being such an important draft, it's going to be quite a bit of spotlight, of microscope put on these 9 draftees, particularly the 2 first-round picks, the second-round pick, the quarterback, just because he's a quarterback. You know, the one thing that I come away from in all of this is, how do you go through 9 picks and not pick a wide receiver or a tight end when it's clearly a position of need for this team? Are you happy with what you have? Are you that happy with what you have? Was the moves you made addition by subtraction? Or, you know, some of these guys, in essence, coming back almost like redshirt years, so to speak? You know, or will you still have to go address that somehow, maybe through some June free agents or stuff? We'll see exactly how that plays itself out over the next few months as we head into camp. Obviously, what you have in terms of who's under contract and the draftees and the undrafted free agents that you've been able to sign, that's not going to be the roster that you take to the Greenbrier in late July. There will be some other changes still to come.
Sticking with football, the New Orleans Voodoo snapped a 4-game losing streak, winning 66-63 over Spokane on a last-second field goal as time expired by Garrett Lindholm. They lost their quarterback, Adam Kennedy, in the second quarter, apparently separated his throwing shoulder, will be out 3 to 4 weeks, but that's why you have an experienced backup in Brian Reeder, who had started in this league before, and he did a good job, and that was a thrilling win and one that was nice to see happen.
Yeah, good win, and a good way to win, too, to win at the buzzer and or at the gun or whatever sounds they make in arena football, cannons, whatever the case may be. But, they really needed this win, clearly. And you got, another opportunity at home this Saturday night to turn this into a winning streak.
The New Orleans Zephyrs 8-game road trip now after a nice, extensive home stand, and they're back competing well. Beat Memphis over the weekend. That was good. And now let's see if they can carry that act on the road.
Yeah, it's... You deal with that in baseball, obviously. You're on the road for extended number of days at a time, just like you're at home. And now you've got to take the momentum that you built up winning these last 3 of the homestand, and try to carry that forward. Toughest game on any road trip, as you know, from having been out there for many years, is that first game in, because usually it is a travel day. You're not flying charters, you're flying commercial. You get in somewhere and you got to turn around and play that first game, and that can tend to be the toughest spot. After you get your feet under you a little bit, kind of becomes almost a 50-50 proposition, but that first one is the key one.
It certainly is. And also, sticking with baseball, college level, LSU started well, didn't finish it at Mississippi State, won 2 of 3. Tulane started well, didn't finish it, winning the first, losing the last 2 against Houston. LSU still number 1 in the polls coming out early on Monday, and obviously disappointing for Tulane because they had a great chance at home after they won the first game to win a big series from Houston.
Yeah, a chance to win, and at this point, RPIs are out there, and, LSU obviously sitting in the top 5. They keep doing what they're doing. They will be a national seed, which is your goal, put you in prime position to end up in Omaha. Tulane trying to get back in the tournament for the first time in a while. The big thing for them now is going to be, how they finish in the league. They're sitting 2 games out of first in a jumbled up league right now. I think they need to win 4 out of 6 over the last 2 weekends of conference play, which will not be easy, but I think that would put them in a position to possibly get back in the tournament.
Southeastern continues to roll. Jacob Seward having a remarkable year. And then, of course, at Nicholls State, they won yesterday too. And Justin Sinibaldi having an amazing year at 9-1. So, again, it's great to see locals producing well.
Exactly. Seward, a record holder now for consecutive game hitting streak at Southeastern. Congratulations to him. UL Lafayette stumbled a little bit. They're still in position to win that league, but they had a bad series loss at Appalachian State. Not a very good team. They've dropped into the 50s in RPI, but you look at the RPIs this year, something we're not that familiar with. And Darrell Ashley does a great job of keeping our readers up to date every week on that and what's going on. But we're looking at, 5-6 teams in the top 100 of the RPI from Louisiana. That hasn't been the case very often as of late.
No, it's pretty special. High school baseball, and you can follow SportsNola.com and WHNO TV because we've got some good offerings coming up in the boys' state playoffs this week.
Yeah, let's start with our final edition of the year. We think of the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. We thought it was last week. Rain got in the way, unfortunately. So we're making it up this week with a Class 3A second-round game just up the road in Laplace. St. Charles Catholic at home against Notre Dame of Crowley, which should be a very entertaining game, 6-11. Both of those teams won very convincingly in the first round, and it should be a good one and a great way to wrap up our season of baseball on WHNO. And stay tuned, and we'll have some news as well about some live streams coming up this weekend as well in the state playoffs.
Yeah, look forward to it. So keep it right here at SportsNola.com, and you'll be apprised appropriately. That's a lot of A's and a lot of APs. Enough said.
Very apropos.
Good. It's Lenny Vangilder, the genius. I'm just trying to ride his coattails. Lenny, thanks. Always have a good week.
All right, we'll see you later this week.
That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNola.com. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Have yourselves a great week, and God bless you.